Yeah, so this band started in Sacramento. Sacktown! Yeah, that's the Sacramento thing. And they make post-hardcore music, and their singer is this guy named Tillian, and he sings really high, but before they had a guy named Kurt Travis, shout out to A Lot Like Birds! And before that they had Johnny Craig, who's probably the greatest singer alive, and what's that? My breath smells like an ashtray? Well, I was eating ashes earlier, so that makes sense. Hey everybody, real quick, before we get into the thick of it, analytics tells me that only 14% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed. So if you would consider subscribing, I'd be honored. It's free, and I post new music content as often as I can. Thanks. Gavin Dance was my very first post-hardcore band. Introduced me to a whole new world of music. They dropped absolute bangers with instant gratification and mothership right after I found them. Not to mention their incredible backlog. All this leads to my huge disappointment in Artificial Selection, released only 1 year after Mothership. Now, I'm not going to spend the whole time shitting on Arse, that's for a different video, but my main point is the album doesn't feel cohesive like Mothership, and it didn't have the cleanness of instant gratification. Is Afterburner any better? Long answer, yes. Afterburner meets somewhere in between Mothership and Arse for me. An incestuous relationship leading to some special kids that don't quite feel like they fit in. One of these Hills Have Eyes MFers is a little ditty called Lyrics Lie. While the song initially impressed me with John and Tillian trading screams, that one section isn't enough to carry a song with 3 whole choruses. It's okay, but I skip it every time. Another inbred creature of the night is 3 Wishes, which I actually love. Short and sweet, the song gives me summertime gladness vibes. I love John's verses, and Tillian's chorus is really cute. This is a fat, controversial take, please don't lynch me, but I think Strawberry's Wake is pretty bad. Besides John's iconically adorable lines, the lyrics are pretty weak, and I can't even think of what the instrumentals sound like. Calentamiento Global is a song only a band like DGD could pull off without being awful. Will Swan's take on reggaeton is bouncy and fun, with John screaming, rising and falling like the tide. I'm informed by my Hispanic girlfriend that Tillian sounds a little weird, but for the most part pretty good in Spanish. I think he sounds absolutely ace singing in a much lower register than normal, offering something fresh for every aspect of this song. The closer to this album, Into the Sunset, has grown on me but still feels bland. Compared to other closers like Man of the Year and Back to the Future Part 2, this has to be the worst one of the Tillian era, with boring lyrics and straight up bad feature from Bill Murray, who feels shoehorned in because he and Tillian are friends. I like John's first verse, hopeful and impressed with the future. His second verse is absolute nonsense in a bad way. I do like the lines about being a clown because I'm pretty sure they're about the moderators of Swan Posting.
This one's dedicated to Swan Posting.
On the opposite spectrum, the opener Prisoner is hauntingly beautiful, the band inviting the listener to take a break from the monotony of life and join them for a while. Prisons are mentioned by Tillian in a couple other songs, so I appreciate the somewhat weak effort to tie the album together. Parody Catharsis is peak DGD for me. Matt Mingus's drums leading a rare John Mess chorus while Tillian sings clean ballads harkening back to instant gratification. Will Swan plays clean as fuck riffs while dropping some fine bars. John is a baby. Every album there's a fairly heavy song that John shines on that people will joke is Secret Band featuring Tillian. Say Hi is actually Secret Band featuring Tillian, for real this time. Say Hi feels like a Secret Band LP2 B-side that was cannibalized into a DGD song. John's breakdown is absolutely insane to the point that it feels ad-libbed, while Tillian's haunting voice provides breaks between the madness. Born to Fail is a giant middle finger to Tides of Man, who Tillian has had beef with for years. A lot of people assume John is also attacking Johnny Craig in the outro, which I disagree with. There's literally no reason to start a beef with Johnny after all these years. I'm not saying it can't be about Johnny, but it seems unlikely at best. Parallels is a weird-ass track which I think will be super underrated by future fans. Night Sway is a super cool short track with an infectious chorus. One in a Million has shades of DBM in the intro and is overall pretty cool, but not a favorite of mine. Finally, we come to Nothing Shameful, the crown jewel of the album for most people. It's so-so for me. On one hand, Andrew Wells' verse has to be some of the best lines on the whole album. On the other hand, the chorus and verses from Tillian and John are actually bad. John has a couple lines I like, but Tillian overall feels super weak. I'll listen every time for Andrew's verse, but tend to skip the rest of the song when it ends. Well, that's Afterburner. It has some of their weakest songs and some of their strongest. Not their worst album, not their best. Solidly cementing itself in the middle of their discography for me. Afterburner gets a 10 out of 13 from me.
Yeah, and then Kurt was in somewhat similar to Avians, and he got kicked out again, and then he was in Eternity Forever, and then he was in Pushover, and now he's in Royal Coda, and Wilson is in that band too, and I think Will is going to kick Kurt out just for fun. What's that? You don't care? Oh yeah? Well, guess what? Your lack of interest in something I'm passionate about burns down to my core. You not caring enough to even feign interest shows what kind of person you are. Good day to you.